Okay, this is the first problem, just to illustrate spending and efficiency variances. And this is someone who's looking at manufactures solar arrays for satellites. And their current aerospace division, both variable and fixed overhead costs are allocated on the basis of laser cutting hours. So here's our data, which is nice. It's in a nice clean table. This is the budget information. So we've got a budgeted variable and fixed overhead rate. Here's our laser cutting time per solar array. That's the budget. And budgeted production and sales is 5,000, and fixed overhead is 1,000,008. And then the actual results are 4,800 units produced and sold. Okay, we've got 8,400 actual hours used. And our variable overhead costs, the actual costs are 14,784. Now I divided these by the laser cutting hours to get a cut per laser hour. So it's 175.95 or 176. And fixed overhead is 1832.20. So now let's just do the first one. We're just going to compute the variable spending variance and efficiency variance for variable overhead. Okay, spending and efficiency. So this is the solution. Let's go through these. These formulas are a lot like what we did for just the straight variances for material and labor. And here we've got actual, and then this tricky part is that what used to be flexible now doesn't have a title, okay? So it's just the actual quantity times the budgeted rate. And then flexible, okay, the fourth column is here because this is used in other areas, but it doesn't apply really to these variances. There's never any there's no difference between this formula and this one, so there's never any variance. So for spending and efficiency variance, that's what we're looking at. For the flexible budget, we've got the budget for actual output times the budgeted rate. Okay, budget for actual output. So we budgeted 1.5 hours. Okay, 1.5 hours per solar array. So it's 1.5. We produce, the actual output is 4,800 units, and the budgeted rate is $200. Okay, now let's look at the middle column. The formerly flexible was 8,400 actual units. No, 8,400 actual hours times $200. So the difference between these two, they're both $200. The difference is just in the quantity. This is the budgeted amount for actual output, okay, just like it used to be before, and this is just the actual quantity. So the difference then between, I've got 1,680 and 70 and 1,440. We've got efficiency variance of 240,000 unfavorable. Now, we can reduce this formula more and look at it, but this is not a bad way to do these because you've got a lot of data in here and there's a lot to keep track of as you're doing it. So you might want to show it broad like this. If not, another way to look at it is this is the budgeted rate. Okay, so it'd be budgeted rate times hours. So we've got the actual quantity of hours here minus the budgeted hours per actual units produced. Okay, just like before. So an hour and a half times 4,800 units produced. So that would give us 7,200. The budgeted rate times the difference between 8,400, 7,200, 240,000? Yeah. Okay, the difference between these two. Okay. Lost some zeros, didn't I? Okay, now let's look at the spending variance. Okay, what you want to focus on is what the difference is between these, and the difference is right here in this, it depends on which one you're looking at. Between the no-name variance and flexible budget, the difference is the quantity, okay? So we can take $200 times the quantity difference. You can do that if you want to. Now let's look at the other side. Here's our actual. The actual is actual quantity times actual rate. So 8,400 times an actual rate of 176. And that's the actual rate. Remember, I got up here, I took my variable overhead, and divided it by the actual hours. So our actual rate is 176. Okay? So actual hours for 8400 times 176 is 1,478,400. The actual quantity times the budgeted rate. Okay, so our difference here is there's the actual rate versus the budgeted rate. And that would give you spending variance, which makes sense. Okay, there's our 1680, so our difference is 201,600, and it would be favorable because the actual is less than the budget. Okay, in this case, for the efficiency variance, this would be unfavorable because our formerly flexible is now greater than the flexible budget. Okay, I don't know what's flexible about this budget, but that's what they call it. So the last thing on here is the reduced formula. So we have our common term here is an actual quantity of 8,400 units times 176, the actual rate minus the budgeted rate, 200. Okay, and that gave us a 201,600 favorable. So here's our spending variance from here to here. Here's the efficiency variance on this side. And this whole thing is flexible budget variance. So that's what? It's I should get the calculator right? We've got 201,600 minus 240, 38,400. Okay, and this one was unfavorable. So that would be unfavorable. Yeah. Another way to look at that is to compare these two numbers here. So that's 1,078,400 compared to 1,440,000. Okay, the best thing you can do is do simple problems. Just keep doing problems. If you need any solutions, just let me know.